This show really does an amazing job of breaking down the origin and the antithesis of the xenomorph. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. You're watching E4One Media. I'm Anthony. Speaking of the xenomorph, how the creature ultimately operates and what the creature needs to operate, right? Which is the human host. And I think a lot of us have, pretty much already gathered that from hundreds of other alien iterations that we've seen over the years. Some of us maybe haven't. But the fact that this show simplifies the alien creature, the xenomorph, is what I love about this show. And this show is nowhere near as confusing as Prometheus or the sequels to Prometheus, which I thought were very good films visually. But it just got too cluttered and too complicated. Alien Earth is an original, and because this show technically takes place 2 years before 1979, and it does an amazing job of just simplifying to the audience and not confusing the audience. And I've always felt like this from the very first Alien film. This one franchise, although it's not my favorite horror franchise, that would be Friday the 13th. Back to the topic at hand here. This Alien franchise is the only franchise that truly has disgusted me over the years, to where it literally makes me want to throw up in my mouth because the visuals are so gory, so slimy. This is the only franchise with the creatures crawling around and everything like that. This is the only franchise besides the film by John Carpenter, The Thing, that really just like makes my flesh crawl and gives me goosebumps while watching it because it's so disgusting. The Thing is the only film that's ever done that, which was one. Kurt Russell's The Thing is one of the most amazing films, horror films in cinema history. The fact that these droids, which are pretty much kids in adult bodies, are completely different than the prototypes we've seen in other iteration of Alien films. These droids have emotions, even though they're not supposed to. They go unhinged at times. A lot of the time they go rogue, as we saw in the most recent episode number 6. They do their own thing. They don't stick to the script. They have vivid memories of their previous lives. They're not just robots. They're actually people inside of a robot, actually. One of the things I like about this show is that instead of showing you like a quick rundown of what happened in the previous episode, they use the title of the show, Alien Earth, floating at the screen visually to show you little captions of what previously happened in the episode previously. And so, you don't get your traditional in last week's episode and then it cuts to like different portions of the previous episode. It literally silently, quietly shows you what happened while the Alien Earth title is coming together uniformly on the screen, which I really, really love. Alien Earth also showcases the incompetence, like the complete dumbness and silliness of the crew that was at helm of the ship that crashed. And it also shows the incompetence, if you watch episode 6, the last episode, the most recent episode, it showed you the incompetence of the droids, how they just, their negligence. It shows you the negligence of the actual people, the scientists, the people that are studied to know what they're supposed to do and not supposed to do, going in these areas where the creatures are and just leaving doors open, silly shit, walking indoors, and you see a creature right here, but you're going to try to save a droid's body that's already destroyed, as that particular scientist did. Why would you do that? It's just typical horror incompetence that is displayed in the show. And you could say that that's a weak point of the show, but I look at it as that just goes to show you just how dumb people are in real time and in real life, and it just shows it on screen. I mean, look at the way the world is run right now by leaders and people, just pure incompetence. I love how popular 90s rock tracks are used at the conclusion of each episode. Smashing Pumpkin song, Metallica song, Wherever I May Roam was used. I think it was in episode 3 or 4, like popular 90s tracks. I love that. I was used at the end of the episode to lead you into the credits. Do you think this show does 79 Alien and Aliens justice? Absolutely, I think it does. Third best in the whole franchise, E4One Media.